you remember what you were doing back near the end of the 80s? I sure do, and I will show you a bunch of things we did, all the family I had, and the different places they lived, and the things we did. So enjoy. I will start you off with a visit to my father's parents' house, or my grandparents. In the middle of summer, early December.
Cuidado, cuidado. Gordo, mira.
¿Qué? ¿Dónde? ¿La pelota? Vamos. Vení. Vení. Vení, gordo. Vení.
¿Le cambiaste la pulsera al reloj, gordo?
Sí, le cambié.
Ah.
Le cambié. Y ahora quiero que me saque con mi choco no va a dar. Con mi quinta Juan.
Sí.
Que le corte el pimpolito ese. Agarra el choco. No, no, no agarres nada porque... Ay, agarró el choco tierno. Bueno, espera más acá, agarré el hilito. Uy, de echarle pobre María. Silvi, ay, mira, ven a ver la rosa, qué linda que es. No la toque, gordo. Esa rosa es divina.
¿La compré?
Yo la compré 600 pesos las rosas. Acá la metemos.
¿Cómo lo aprecias esta Juan?
¿Cómo no? Pero cuando esté maduro lo voy a apreciar más todavía.
Y no vas a cansar a comer, pues.
¿Cuándo venía vos que no va a venir en enero? No, no de vuelta.
¿En él?
¿Usted viene en
¿En junio? Junio, mi hijo.
¿Cómo le vamos?
Ahora,
Yo quiero ir juntos a
¿Eh?
Aquí mi plantita. ¿Cómo la quiero esta planta? Tan bonita que la quiero tan.
Ponete ahí, gordo, dale.
La gaña está bonita. Así limpio. Tan fea que soy.
¿Está bien?
Me decepciono.
La plantita de la vieja.
So we have some footage from my mother's side grandparents' house. Very prolonged and huge gathering of people that I will show you now. So once again, I'm doing a voiceover because of the presence of music. And nowadays, more than ever, YouTube is cracking down on any melody or tune that you put up, even if it is public domain or royalty free. So you had to be extra careful and just mute out the music part, unfortunately, which interrupts with the flow of the video, obviously. But I would try my best to preserve that. I mean, there are moments when the music actually does stop, and that's when I try to, get back to the original sound. But yeah, this is a family gathering. According to what I heard on the video, it's on December 17th, 1989. And pretty much both sides of the family is present. All kinds of uncles and aunts. And here I am on the staircase, 2 years of age. We were all playing. That's my cousin and my brother at the very top there. They're playing with some toys there. And as you can tell from the weather is actually quite hot because in the southern hemisphere, specifically Argentina, December means summer, as you might know. There was a brief moment of silence, but, it doesn't last long. It's pretty much you're playing the whole album there of, I think it's Creole music from the province, some province. I mean, my grandparents are actually from the province of Santiago del Estero. So it's very traditional, I guess you could say. And so they like that kind of music meant for dancing with a lot of accordions or bandoneones, or it's kind of like, they call it chamamé, I think. It's kind of hard to see from here, but yeah, my mom's wearing light blue there. Her mother, my grandma, is the one walking with the orange blouse. I have two uncles right there. My little cousin there, little girl there. And it's traditional. I mean, there was no special occasion. It was just a gathering. I guess that's because we had just arrived in the country. That was my first time, the first time in my life visiting Argentina, and that's me there climbing the stairs. And so I'm guessing we were just doing a little celebration for our arrival. And any celebration in Argentina is going to involve a lot of meat, especially barbecued meat, because it is one of the best meats in the world. It's very tasty, very fatty, very good meat, and pretty much anyone can afford, with very few exceptions, pretty much any family can afford to do barbecue meat. It's not a luxury. It's a common thing that you can have. And my grandfather's house, that's his house. That's my grandfather's house, my maternal grandfather's. You can see they have a grapevine there over the table, a very long table, and they have grapes. That's very common too in big households. And on the back, you'll see the setup he has for cooking meat, which is like a brick oven that he probably built himself with mud and whatnot. It's very useful for cooking whole pork. You can see there that's my cousin and her parents. My uncle and aunt. And let's see what else we have here. So yeah, I'm sure the food was great. That didn't last too long, and that right there with the mustache, that's one of my uncles, and that's his father, or my grandfather, or my mom's father, or my mom's brother and her father, sitting there at the head of the table. And that thing is a big jug of wine. It used to be very common in Argentina, and you can see what they're cutting there is meat, usually and that's that's the son of my mother's brother, or my cousin. And yeah, a common cut of meat is called vacío, or in English they might call it brisket or London broil. It's a very fibrous but soft cut of meat. That's my uncle and aunt, my mother's sister. And yeah, they have those big jugs of wine. On the back you can see some bricks underneath the staircase. That's very common because usually they build the houses. People build the houses, or at least back then they used to build the houses by themselves. It was a work in progress all the time. There was always improvements that needed to be made, and that's the sister of my cousin there. Yeah, and let's see what else we have. So you can see that it's a pretty big backyard. They had on the back you can see a little or like a little garden, like a vegetable garden, and they also used to have chickens, if I'm not mistaken. I wish you could see more. And that's my father's mother together with my mother's mother, and I think that's one of my mother's sister. They're dancing. Yeah, as I mentioned, she had the orange blouse. Let's see what else we have here. Huh. All right, so they're having a good time, as you can see. And yeah, pretty much everyone was there. Extended family, you could say. It was pretty hot that day. I mean, as I said, November or late November is already the start of summer, as opposed to in the northern hemisphere being the start of fall. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, so that's one of my mother's cousins there, playing with one of my mother's brother's kids, and yeah, that was a good time. And that wasn't even the Christmas celebration. The Christmas celebration is another video. And you can see the meat that they're cutting. Very good, looks very good. She's bringing out some more potato salad. That's a common accompaniment for meat, actually, in Argentina. And there we are playing. That's my brother with my cousin right there. That's my cousin. And he's posing for the camera, I guess. And let's see, there's a lot of people there, a long table, and that's me running, crying, because I'm trying to get a toy from my brother, but my brother doesn't want to let me have that, and I'm whining about that. And as you can see, they put a board over the stairs because it's kind of dangerous. You can see that it's not the safest staircase, so it can be really dangerous for little kids to go up that. So yeah, and I think and you'll see from the next clip that. We were up to no good. We were actually throwing rocks But yeah, I'll show you that in a moment. Yeah, that's me right there, and there's a bicycle behind me. I think my grandma is gonna bring out some dessert for us. We'll see what that is. And yeah, there's a lot of music, which is very inconvenient for, and that's my grandma. It's very inconvenient because of, the whole copyright thing. YouTube will strike you down for anything that sounds like music. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. So more footage of the same stuff. My father always liked to film a lot of stuff and for prolonged periods of time. Mostly repetitive things. As you can see, those grapes are really good. I mean, that was one of my favorite things. Eating grapes fresh off the vine. I mean, it's just the best. And there's a lot of meat. I think there's chicken too. And those things right there, those are gas soda siphons. So yeah. Yet again, the music plays, and and there's my grandmother. She was giving me a banana. So as I said, they were giving us dessert, and I was saying yes, those little things with the handle on the top, those are gas siphons for soda water, or seltzer. It's very common to pour that over red wine, especially cheap wine, because it doesn't taste very good by itself. Oh, and that in the back, that igloo shaped thing, that's the brick oven I mentioned to you. You can see how big it is, and yeah, it's literally made of mud. And that little shack right there, with the roof, the tin roof, that's very common in Argentina. It's called a quincho, and it's where you cook barbecues, and it's usually in the very back of the backyard. Yeah, and yeah, that's more footage of the table. And yeah, so usually the wine, if it was like really cheap, there's the box wine is very common. They'll serve that with some soda water, just to make it, taste a little better. And it's a good refreshing thing, and, with ice. It's very common in Argentina, especially at barbecues. And yeah, that's the garage. They used to have a blue Ford Falcon parked in there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, so that's the other grandma serving us some bananas for dessert and something else. I'm not sure if I could identify what it was. It's a very sunny day, very nice day. Trying to be funny there. Let's see what else we have. The music plays for a long time. The voiceover starts again. That respite didn't last very long, and we're trying to get into the garage, but they're trying to not let us go in, I guess. Yeah, we were very rowdy kids back then. We used to do crazy things like it was nothing. That's common in Argentina. Go up to the terrace, to the rooftop terrace, go into the garage. Climbing up the stairs like it's nothing, and fireworks too. As I mentioned in another video, when I was 6, I was already throwing these crazy fireworks that are illegal in most places around the world. These little triangles that make a very loud noise, if you know what I mean. Let's see here. So there's a lot of repetitive footage here. The banana there. My brother's grabbing a banana. My grandma has serving everyone bananas. And that's me eating a banana. And I think we're gonna. My father's gonna gather us together, and we're gonna do like a portrait shot. And that's the. Let's see here. Yeah, that's my cousin there, the little girl cousin, and that's my other cousin. And yeah, there's a bicycle. All right. Okay, so let's see here. So yeah, I think we're gonna take a photo or something. Yeah, there's more footage there, prolonged footage of us playing, and yeah, those bananas are really good, by the way. I think they're from Brazil. They're different. They're not the same kind of bananas you get in the U.S. The bananas you get in the U.S. are in my opinion, they're very rubbery and they have no aroma. They come from Ecuador or Costa Rica, but these bananas that come from Brazil, they're ripe. They're fully ripe, and they have like a really nice, lovely fragrance, like a very sweet fragrance, and they have a nice color. It's like they look like they're golden colored. So it's different. It's not the same, The produce is really good in Argentina, I have to say. And yeah, that's the so-called family portrait, and I was the only one who was not wanting to be in the I guess photo, but really just the image. I was, sort of the kind of person that asked questions a lot and, didn't follow instructions very, very much. Um, yeah, I was like saying things to my mom, what is going on? What's happening? I was already talking. I was like 2 years old and I was already talking. So yeah, once again, so my dad is to the very right wearing the blue. He's holding to the little cousin there. That's me in the front wearing the red and white shirt. Um, my cousin is wearing the hat next to my brother. So my dad was commenting there about us wanting to see this someday, 20 years from that day, which would have been 2009, which is actually when I returned to Argentina for I think the third time, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we've been going back and forth for over the few decades that have passed. And yeah, this is literally now 34 years ago. Crazy to think about that. But yeah, that's my mom in the middle wearing the blue, surrounded by my cousins. My brother is the one on the bike. Yeah, my dad just keeps filming us. Let's see here. And I'm probably the one behind the camera making some commentary, asking questions. What is this? What am I doing? That's something that would characterize my childhood for quite a while, quite a few years. And I think I'm not sure what that is. It could be some kind of fruit, maybe like mandarin or or maybe some kind of baked goods like a common one is pasta frolla, which is it's an Italian origin kind of pastry made with quince jam or membrillo and like a shortbread kind of dough, and it's kind of like a pie, and it's very soft and sugary. And yeah, that's the quincho right there that I mentioned. The little dog there. I think his name was Bear also. And yeah, he's just waiting for some scraps from the barbecue. And let's see here. And that's the vegetable garden I mentioned. And you can get a better view there of the grapevine, the table, pretty much what the whole backyard looked like. And the amount of people, I figured there must have been, let's see here, about 20 people more easily, 20 people. Oh, one time we had a dog there, and he actually fell on top of the grapevine. And he got stuck there. It was funny. Yeah, it was crazy because he was chasing, I think, a cat or something, and yeah, he just jumped and got stuck in the grapevine, which was hilarious. So yeah, here we are, just playing again, and that's my grandfather. And there was a lot of meat. I think there was still some left on the barbecue. You see on the grill. That's very common and very Argentinian to do that. You put a charcoal and you cook meat very slowly for like 2 or 3 hours. Because that's the only way you can cook it. It's so fatty, so greasy. The meat, you really need to give it time to crisp up and render, and to flavor the meat. And the meat has to be cooked through. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. That's one of the secrets I just gave you of Argentinian barbecue that distinguishes it from other types of styles.
No sé.
No, la mera.